Now for Capricorn rising sign people in your D9 chart, in your Navamsa chart, which means if Capricorn is the first house or the ascendant or the rising sign in your Navamsa, in your D9 chart, then for them, what kind of results will be coming by for you? Remember, I've said this in many of my videos, the D1 chart is the chart of possibilities, but the D9 chart is a chart of probabilities. The probability of an event, of a result, of an opportunity coming by for you is heightened or is higher when you see the results coming from your D9 chart, your Navamsa chart. And hence, the deeper analysis of Saturn's transit into the Navamsa chart, in the D9 chart becomes very important. Now, when Saturn is transiting into the third house from a D9 ascendant perspective in the Pisces sign, then be able to see the connection between where Saturn is placed in your natal chart, in your birth chart, in your D9 chart. Which means in your D9 chart, if you're a Capricorn ascendant in your D9 chart, if Saturn is placed, for example, in the 11th house, now transiting into the third house in Pisces. So do be able to see the connection. That connection would mean if Saturn is placed in Scorpio sign in the 11th house, some transformation coming by in your connections, in your societal network, through your effort, and then you being able to make gains from it. Why gains? Speculative gains, because Saturn's third aspect of effort and being placed in the third house of effort is going to the fifth house of speculative investments, but in the sign of money, in the Taurus sign. So through some transformation, connecting it to your natal placement in your D9 chart in the 11th house, connecting it with Saturn's transit into the third house and its aspect. So money can be possible. If Saturn is placed in the 7th house, now aspecting the 5th house and Taurus sign, then making money through a speculative investment through your partner, in a partnership, in business. So that connection you should be able to see. Then Saturn's 7th aspect is on the 9th house. So the opportunity to be able to get higher gains through your using your experiences, using your tenure, using your ability to be able to learn through your qualification, enhancing your qualification, and then making gains, and then being able to influence people with your heightened qualification and making money and gains. Saturn's influence on the 5th house is also important, because 5th house is also the house of transformation or change in career, because the 5th house is the 8th to the 10th house, and because Saturn rules the ascendant, so this becomes very important. And because Saturn rules the ascendant and getting into the third house, so your ability to be able to make gains through your work arena also becomes very important. And Saturn also aspects with his 10th aspect the 12th house, where Jupiter's aspect and Ketu's aspect is also there, which means Saturn's ability to be able to use your ability to influence people through effort, through stable connections, and then make gains in foreign lands, in foreign connections, in individual capacity, in isolated work is also heightened. And because Saturn also aspects the 12th house and Jupiter also aspects it along with Ketu's aspect. So Saturn is expanding the ability to be able to make gains from foreign lands, foreign connections in isolated roles also. Jupiter is expanding it, especially in connected to service, to work. But Ketu from the 8th house is making a sudden change, sudden transformation to either allow you to be able to make gains in your work, in your career connected to the 12th house. But Ketu is stopping that connection if you don't deserve it, if you have not worked hard for it. But Jupiter surely adding to Saturn's aspect and creating a higher opportunity to be able to make gains if you have already put in effort, because Saturn is in the third house. So keep that in mind. And lastly, also look at Saturn's dignity in the D1 chart, because based on where Saturn is placed in your D1 chart, results will also come by accordingly. And I've already done many videos how to see the connection between your D1 and D9 chart. So use that experience to be able to fathom a deeper analysis of Saturn's transiting into the Pisces sign in your D9 chart, in your Navamsa chart.